Good morning, good morning, good morning, and Happy New Year to y'all. We're going to talk about the pressure. Y'all, I've already taken an L. Already taken an L, and we ain't even 2 minutes into 2025. Well, we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. So, like I said, almost 20, it is 2025, not almost, it is 2025. I'm having my coffee this morning, y'all, and put me a little nip up in here because I'm remembering my pop this morning, and so I'm having me a little drink over here to the side of the video today. We'll let a few people come in and go ahead and get started. Hey, Keisha, how are you? How are you today? Y'all, 2025. So, if you're new to the channel, I'm just going to go ahead and say my spiel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I'm Latana Robertson, the Lady Print Boss. This is one of those channels where we keep it real. I come on, I talk about real life stuff that happens in the business. So that it can help you in your business. And I also do consulting and got a whole bunch of other cool things that we do over on the Lady Print Boss page, y'all. So let's talk about pressure because it's on. The pressure is on. 2025, y'all. Let's talk about it. So, if you want your business to succeed, you have to be able to master handling pressure and handling stress of it all. Yesterday, I've been pumping for like probably like at least the past week, pumping, trying to make sure that I get everything updated, that everything is ready to go on day one, which is today, y'all, today. And I'm already taking an L because I didn't get it done. Yesterday, I came into the office and I sat down at the computer and I thought about it and I said, you know what? I refuse because in my family we have a thing. You don't go into a new year taking in old shit, right? Old habits, things. You make sure that your house is clean and all of that. So my bedroom needed cleaning up, so I decided, hey, I'm going to clean up the bedroom. And then I just decided yesterday to not do anything, just to kind of hang out. My sister called me yesterday morning, um, and I was on, actually I think I was online doing a video, and I was doing some coding, and my sister called and she said, hey, I'm going to come and cook for you. And nobody ever comes and cooks for me, y'all. Nobody ever comes and cooks anything. So it was, she called, she was like, what are you doing? I'm like, shoes, I'm finna cook and turn up and cry all day. And she said, no, we not doing that. So she came over. Now that one is right. Y'all gonna get a good talk now. So she came over and cooked for me. And so when she said she was gonna cook, I said, you know what? No pressure. Let me just go ahead and enjoy the day. So I went ahead and got my bedroom cleaned up, straightened up a little bit, and enjoyed my day. I had a customer that called me yesterday that wanted a quote. I'm actually going to give him a quote in a second. Wanted a quote for 100 shirts, and I literally just said, "Hey, it's Thanksgiving Eve. I'm off. I'll get the quote over to you tomorrow." So, that was kind of a little story about my yesterday, my New Year's, how we brought it in. I had two of my kids came by, and Kiana is in there on the couch, and we kind of had fun enjoying each other and all of that. But let's get into it. So, boss team, let's be real. So, pressure and stress isn't just a part of the job, right? It's going to be a part of your journey. If you want to succeed in your business, right, especially in the apparel and t-shirt industry, you gotta learn how to master handling the heat when things get hot, and um, you gotta be able to master handling the heat, right? Because diamonds are created under pressure. It's when the good things come out, when you're able to learn how to handle that stress, master it, put it over here in a category, and deal with the pressure of running a business, right? When I first started my business this year, 2020, so 2025 is going to be my 25th year in business. Um, so right around the time of Christmas, which was like the 28th or 29th of December, 25 years ago, um, I got into an altercation. I was having issues with a job that I was working, and wasn't a job I was working. I was actually renting a booth in a salon, and got into an altercation. And I had just started Hip Hop Print Shop. Had just started Hip Hop Print Shop, and literally had opened it up like literally like probably like 2 or 3 weeks I had been in business with Hip Hop Print Shop. I'm talking about, it was, the business was just so fresh, and I needed this job, right? And the altercation happened, and needless to say, I had to walk away from that opportunity, and I had a decision to make whether I was going to go and just focus strictly or head on this business that was 3 weeks old, or whether I was going to go and get another position, because I had another salon I was highly that wanted me. I had so I used to teach people. I used to do nail parties and things like that, and so I could have did that. So it was a lot of things at my disposal. I could have just said, okay, well, I'm just gonna go full on into computers. I could have went and got a job. A lot of things I could have did, right? And I remember this happened like right after Christmas, going into the new year. And so I was under a lot of pressure because at this time I'm a mom of four, my kids are small, and I needed that money. And I just taken my last, right, and put into the shop. So I was under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And at that time, I had a business partner, Michelle. And I remember walking in and her looking at me like, girl, what the fuck are you going to do? You done literally, she was like, T baby, you done fucked up. And I knew it. And I was like, hey, I certain shit, I'm just not the one to deal with. So I knew I had fucked up. And I told her, I said, we're going to make this work, right? I knew that I had a certain set of skill, and I knew that I had an eye for things. I was nervous, stressed out as hell, because I had heard so many freaking times over the year, and I don't say this to bash my mom or my family or anything like that, but to tell you guys the story, right? Because some of y'all experience it. My mother was completely against me going into the arts, right? into it from college, gets going into arts. She was straight into, you need to go to medical school, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it was to walk that straight rope. And back then, artists, designers, it was, you're going to be a starving artist, you're going to be a starving designer, da 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 da, right? And so I had a lot of pressure because I had a couple of businesses that I had started during college and things and did not work. I had a awesome idea. I used to sell these. I had a lingerie business, my lingerie store. I ended up closing it down. It was an amazing business, would do amazing in today, but I was a little bit, I had a little, the freaky clothes that I was designing and creating, maybe, at that time it just didn't work. So I was under a lot of stress to make things happen because I was always told that you're left-handed. You jump from one business to another, one idea to another. Kind of like some of y'all, that when you buy one piece of equipment and you jump over here and you jump over there. And so by this time, I'm what, maybe, am I right, 30? You know, good age to have it all together. Shit, when I was 25, you couldn't tell me shit. I would have my head on tight, right? So by 30, it's like, or going into 30, somewhere off in there, it was kind of like, okay, um, I got 4 kids now. I got a husband. I ain't got time to play. I gotta get it, right? Um, a big beautiful house. Lexus, about 4 cars. Lexus had a Lincoln, I think it was a town car, Lincoln town car, and Suburban, a couple of other things. Um, and it was like, there was no, because I had closed down my beauty salon. Um, and when I closed down the beauty salon, I ended up going and just doing contract work. And so now here it is. I found out that, hey, Latana, heifer, you unemployable because you don't want to play by anybody else's rules, right? Um, when it's kind of like, I found out when I told the salon owner that when somebody said something to me, and I said, hey, I don't work for her. If she wants to take something up, you go to the board, right? Go to the board, talk to them about the shit. Don't come to my face and talk to me about it, because I'm paying my rent and I'm doing me. I book my appointments and all of this. And so, guys, I was jumping around and I was under a lot of pressure to make shit happen. I'll never forget the day after all of this stuff happened. I took a couple of days. Thank God I did not go to jail. Took a couple of days because I whooped some ass, but anytime you whoop some ass, you got to bring some ass to get some ass. So I was sore for a couple of days after this tragical event that had happened, right? And the first day I walked, I decided, okay, Michelle had been at the shop and she was working the store. And I got up that morning, baby. I got dressed, put my makeup on, click, click, put my jewelry on, my big hoop earrings, put my pantsuit on. I had a red, it was like a burgundy and black pinstripe pantsuit, put my high heels on, grabbed my bag, boo, and walked up in the business like I was the Queen of Sheba, okay? And when I walked in, as I'm coming down the hall and I see Shell and I'm looking at the other stores and everything, and I'm like checking everything out, I'm like, I'm built for this shit. This is my second go around in this particular bazaar. I get in there and Shell tells me, you fucked up. I'm like, okay, yeah, I fucked up, but we're going to make this happen. I knew that I got to do everything in my power to succeed. There was no there was no place for can't do, won't do, gon' fail. There was just none for that. We 30 years old, we not going back home. Ain't none of that stuff happening, and we got to go ahead and we got to make this happen, right? So, um I had a mind shift, right? I had a mind shift. And a mind shift. Um, and I had to change like how I talk to myself, right? Instead of saying, I'm stressed about this, or, this is going on and I can't handle this, or this is the other, right? It was like, bitch, you ain't built to break, you know. Get it together, T baby. Y'all know I always talk to myself. Get it together, T baby. Get it together. And I just did. Just did and just made things happen. And like one thing I can tell you guys is that in business, whenever you're going through something, right? I learned this from Ken. It's weird that he could teach me anything. But you always say you can find gems everywhere. So, and this was because I've always been the one that's like, baby, do this, do boom, 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 right? So throughout the business years, being stressed and being like, okay, well, it's slow season. We got these bills. We got this. We got that. We got to do this and boom, boom, boom. What equipment do we buy? Oh, this equipment is breaking down. What the fuck are we going to do? The automatic is out. The dryer channel has gone out. What the fuck are we going to do? We got orders that need to get out. Da, 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 right? And Ken would always just be sitting around with his coffee, like, picking up the phone, calling people. He's the calm one in the relationship. Yes, I have a conveyor dryer over here, and one of the channels is out. I need to get a technician out here to do blah blah blah. This is my husband. This is who I married. And I'm that person. How much is that gonna cost? Right? And I learned from him, hey babe, you just do. You got to put your money to the side so that when things happen in business, you're able to roll over it and keep going, right? You have to plan ahead for things that are going to happen in your business so that you can be prepared, right? Because it feels worse when you're not prepared for it, right? When you are, and so I'm going to kind of talk to y'all about that and give you some scenarios that work in this t-shirt business thing. um, have a plan for your day, for your projects and your goals, right? Using tools like it's the new year, right? You guys should have business planners. I use a lot of spreadsheets, sticky notes. You guys know I'm crazy about my little color cards that I use, old school type, even an old school Rolodex, but this helps me. I keep a lot of notes in here when I'm dealing with clients of things that they want to keep my memory fresh. I'm reading more and more as you get older. You kind of lose things, so you have to read more, keep studying, and things like that. Now, when it comes to, let's say, when it comes to being unprepared for things like in there, and it's simple things that you can do to not stress in your business. So, let's say, for example, that you are printing or whatever it is that you're doing, you whatever piece of equipment that you have, you run an embroidery shop and you got embroidery machines, you got embroidery jobs that you need to get out. What happens if your embroidery machine breaks down? What happens if your manual printer, your screen printing press isn't going to break down, right? What happens if all of your emulsion is exposed and you don't have any more? Or what happens if your conveyor dryer breaks down? Like things happening with your equipment that are like totally out of your control. You will be under pressure to get jobs out, because in the print business, when you're doing custom printing, for those of you guys who are doing custom printing, it is one of those situations to where, okay, I'm doing custom printing and this printer's not working, or whatever it is that's not working, right? You have to have a backup, and then you got to have a backup for your backup. So forging, just having something simple, just a simple standard operating procedure. What do I do if the embroidery machine is down? Are you able to self fix it? Do you have a technician on call? Like, I learned this when I had automatics. You got to have a technician on call. You got to have somebody that you can call. You got to have a contract printer or somebody else that you can go to. I remember so many times I have had people that have called me and like, hey, Latona, I can't burn screens over here. I'm having some issues. Can I come over there and burn screens? So, it's like reaching out and forging those networking with other people and just collabing. And it may not even be that you're doing a lot of collabing or making money together or anything like that, but just having somebody that's cool that you could say, hey, I'm having this issue. Can I come over here? Can I use this printer? Can I do this? I need, I've got these jobs done. I need to send these jobs over here to you. Things like that will help you in your business. Just little things, right? Um, will help you, right? A lot of times I'm stressed out. There's pressure when you are, so I no longer have like the pressure of running the day-to-day business. It's as you grow your business and you involve in your business, you just kind of like know it, right? So you no longer do you freak out when the dryer goes out, because now we have extra fuses. Um, are these big bus fuses. So this is with the big commercial dryers. Um, no longer do you freak out when the belt goes, that little machine goes off, because you know where to get it from. So you know your equipment, you know how to fix things. I had my exposure unit wouldn't come on like a week ago. And I came in and I told Ken, I said, hey, the exposure unit won't come on. He said, well, let me go get a fuse. And he went in his little bag and got a fuse and put the fuse in, because now you keep those things. So you get, as you learn your business, you then start to prepare for things, right? A lot of y'all, the reason I did this video is because a lot of you guys, I've talked to a lot of people. I talked to one particular person the other day that was so stressed out that I was like, this person is damn near suicidal, right? Um, and I want to clear something up, because I get on here sometimes. I tell y'all, I say, hey, business is slow. It's been slow. This has been, hey, it's been slow. Da 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 da. It's slow. My slow and someone else's slow is going to be different, right? And so I don't want you guys to think that if you hear me say, yeah, it's been slow, that means that there's not money in the t-shirt business, so you need to pivot and go and do something else. Because if there's one thing I have in this business, is longevity. In, out, start over, start back, boom, boom, longevity, right? And if there was not money in this business to be made, I would have been out at any point, right? Because I've got too many skills that I can do where I can go and literally make over 100K a year, just boom, right? I can go code. I can go do this. I can go do, it's too many things, that other things that I can do. So for me in this business, it's for the love of being able to work when I want to work. Not always just when I want to work, because a lot of times you're overworking, but just having that freedom. Like y'all know, I like working at home. having that freedom, right? Of being able to work when you want to work. Um, there's nothing like being able to enjoy yourself and do what you want to do. So, y'all, I done forgot the whole conversation. Hold on. Let me see here. I see y'all in the chat. There we go. I see y'all in the chat, but where am I at? Oh, there's the chat over there. Hey, Rich, how are you? Oh, okay, Rich, what type of printing do you do? Up in Toronto. Warren, Keisha, good morning. Cynthia, good morning. So there's a lot that comes with business, y'all. Actually forgot my train of thought of where we were. But let's talk about prioritizing your tasks, right? When you are under pressure, right? Adding, prioritizing what you need to do, right? Oh, I would know what I was talking about. We were talking about, hey, you guys have the planners and different things that you need. But let's talk about priority tasks. Like when you're under pressure, right? And you're feeling like a little uneasy, feeling scattered, try to focus on the main things that you need to get done in the business. It's easy to veer off. Like, for example, I'm so focused right now on updating the pricing stuff and the website and all of that stuff. It's very easy for me to say, okay, well, I'm going to put these quotes on hold and not do it. Um, and the quotes are what is the most important thing to get done at that time because it's what feeds the business, right? What makes the money. I've got 4 quotes that I need to send out today. Um, and so that's what I was talking about. It came back to me, y'all. Y'all got to forget. Remember, hey, I'm getting on up there in age. Anyways, so I've got 4 quotes that I need to send out today and to get done. And I got 4 quotes that I need to get done. I really, it's like, okay, you need to get this done. Yesterday I did not do it, right? And it's like, okay, you really should have done those 4 quotes. You should have done that anyways, right? And got it done. I did not want to take any more. I closed out my books because I didn't want to take any more orders because I wanted to start 2025 off and, boom, we're done. The more money you make, the more taxes you got to pay, right? So I didn't want to do anything like that. And so what I was telling you guys earlier that I forgot and now I remember is I was talking about, like, hey, when I say it's slow, right? And a lot of times people think, oh, it's slow, so there's no money in the t-shirt business or this or that or other. Now, and sometimes you have to use your common sense, right? A lot of times people, I just assume that, oh, you've been watching me for 10 years, so you know that this is the time of the year that this is what I do. But in actuality, 2024 has actually been a great comeback year. It has been a great year with everything I went through the past couple of years and being able to work from home. It has been a great year. Came out 2024. Let's talk about the pros and the cons and good things that happen. 2024. Well, let's talk of 2023. 2023, I started off business in March. 2024, I started off my business in January. When I say start off business, y'all, I'm in business for the long run, but I take these breaks, right? And so normally, around November, I'm done for the year. Things are slow. I pick back up February and take off. right? So by going up to 2024, 2024 started off really fast for me. 2025, today I've already got 4 orders that I need to get done. And when I run my invoices just today, without even being open, having the website saying that, hey, we're going to start taking orders tomorrow, we're already over 20, over not 20 grand, over 10 grand, right? In sales. So when I say that, hey, t-shirt business is slow, is don't take it for what it is, for what you want it to be. Like slow, 10 grand is slow for a lot of businesses, a lot of big businesses that are working. For me, that's good because I'm sitting at home. My overhead is low, right? My studio is at home. So I don't have a lot of overhead. So that's good for me to start out with that. When I say it's slow, some of you may say, oh, well, maybe you're not making anything. Maybe nothing's happening, right? 2025, the goal for 2025 is 500K. 500K in 2025. I've been talking to some of you guys, and sometimes you get depressed. People get depressed because it's slow, right? Instead of, and that's when the pressure hits. The pressure hits you in business when it's slow, when money is an issue. So during those times that business is booming and booming and booming, you've got to take back a little bit. Take 10% out of everything you do. Take 10%, right? And put it to the side. That's all you need is 10%. Take it and throw it to the side. If you can't do 10%, do 5%. Throw it to the side. Put it on the mattress. Put it in another account. Whatever it is that you need to do, so that when you have those hard times, you're able to float yourself, right? You're able to float and still be able to make it out here, and you don't have to worry about selling nothing or any of that. It makes it a lot easier because now in those slow times, you're not stressed so much about money, and so now you can fill that space with education and learning how to grow your business. When it's slow, y'all see what I'm doing? I'm doing other things to make more money, to build the business. Tomorrow, ads start running. We come out with ad campaigns. I've got a very busy week this week. I've got event planning going on. I'm bringing on a social media content manager that I'm going to be working with. So I got a bunch of stuff like that going on. We've got stuff going on with the website, pushing this e-commerce stuff. Just a lot of stuff that's going on, right? So you try to build your time and come up with things that are going to help you in your business and move away from the negativity, right? That's what we do. Thank you, Cynthia. I got over here. All I had to do was come over here and look at you, and you would have had me. I'm having a little drink this morning, y'all. We had drinks last night, me and Pam them, and we had a really, really good time, right? Um, so I always tell people it's like when you're in business at pressure, always this is what I do. And 2025 is about a renewed mindset, not a renewed game plan, not the figuring out the game plan for me because I've already got the game plan figured out. I'm not going to go back in and rewrite the playbook. Like a lot of times people say, oh, I'm trying to figure out what my goals are in for 2025, what I want my business to look like. If you've been in business for 5 years, you should know what you want your business to look like, right? So you take whatever this goal is and you build up on it and build up on it and build up on it. Sometimes we do have a need to pivot. A lot of times, guys, a lot of times you pivot too fast, right? You pivot too fast and you don't stay the course. I tell y'all, you have to put in the work in order for you to reap the benefits. I remember when Keisha was at Bosscation, she said, do you ever be stressed out? I'm like, do you ever worry about anything? And this is like, fuck no. Like, you don't be stressed out? Yeah. But I mean, business is business, and this is what happens. And she said, it's everlasting. It's everlasting. There's always going to be issues in your business. There's always going to be challenges in your business. It's like hurdles that you're just going to overcome and jump. And once you've passed that first hurdle, and the second hurdle, and the third hurdle, the more times you jump over the hurdles, the easier it gets. The more confident you get, like, honey, I got this shit. You know, what I would tell you guys right now, if you don't have a support system, you want to definitely build a support system. Try not to carry the pressure alone, whether it's a team, whether it's family, whether it's fellow business owners. Lean on someone for support, right? Lean on someone for support. Even your customers. Like if you're slow, if you're really, really slow, there has been times that I've sent out emails to people and I'm like, hey guys, we're slow over here at TSD, but I've got a great deal for you guys right now. We don't have anything on press. You can get shirts tomorrow. You can get shirts not tomorrow, but 3-day turnarounds, no rush, da 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 da. You could hit people and say, hey, just checking, trying to see if you guys have any jobs for us. And I don't really do it as that way as saying, hey, I'm checking to see if you guys have any jobs for us. I'll hit and I'll say, hey, it's slow season. It's a great time for you to take a great opportunity for you to get an amazing deal, right? And then put the offer out there. And so when I say, hey, we're offering an amazing deal on this or on that, when I was running an automatic press, there was no stopping. You got to keep that sucker running. Time is money and money is time. So let's say, for example, that it's slow season. And this is something that a lot of you guys have to learn in business. People are so hell bent on the prices, the prices, the prices, the price. And I'm not going to deviate or fluctuate on my price, because in your pricing mechanism, I want you guys to understand this about pricing. There's nobody that can teach you more about pricing than I can. When you build out your pricing structure, right, there should always be room for a discount. There should always be room for a discount. Let me see who is on here, because I think I'm going to go into something with this and show you guys something. There should always be room for you to build in a discount, right? The thought that the t-shirt is $20 and it doesn't change regardless of who you're dealing with and how you're dealing with things. Let's say that you have a price and you said, okay, so this is how much it cost me to make this. This is how much it cost me to buy the raw materials, right? And this is how much it cost me to make it. And so then I'm gonna add an extra. So they'll say like, okay, go 3 times. So the cost of this, and then you double, right? No, you should be at least 6 times on screen printing and on certain things, right? And it depends on what it is that you're doing. If you're selling retail clothing, right, you should be able to knock that price of that product down by 40%. I learned this in college. You should be able to knock that price down by 40% and still make a profit. Y'all know when you go into the big department stores, and is anybody still shopping in big department stores anymore? But anyways, when you go into big department stores and they got these blowout clearances and the price is 40% off or 30% off, do you think that they're not making a profit? They're still making a profit. You are still making a profit. When I was working markets and selling wholesale to buyers, right? Let's say if they bought something at $5, that $5 in the store might have been, they bought it at $5 from me, It might have been marked up to $40. Okay. I remember selling $20 dresses that were selling in Macy's and Dillard's for $150. So you have to, and I'm not telling you guys to mark your products up way high. That's not what this is about. What I'm telling you is that when you are pricing in your pricing structure, make sure that you have room to be a little bit flexible, right? Because sometimes, let's say what you're slow, and then and especially in my case, let's say that someone calls me and I know I'm dealing with this situation right now where they want an event, and I'm like, this is a $30,000 event. Their budget is $10,000, right? I can't really help you, but I can show you what I can do for your 10 grand. Your budget is 30. This is a $30,000 event. We had $20,000 on the budget, right? $10,000. That's a third of what I'm supposed to be getting, right? I'm going to manipulate and play with numbers. I may put you in a lower shirt. You may not get all the bells and whistles, but I be damn if I walk away from that 20 grand for a 1 day event that I'm coming out and I'm going to do 4 or 5 hours, right? Because I price things to be premium, right? Now, you have to be careful with it because you cannot lessen your brand, right? You can't say, oh, well, I'll do it for that. Well, let me go back in. Let me go back over the numbers. Let me see what I can do. So instead of me putting you in these shirts that are $7 or $8 a shirt, now we're going to go to a shirt that's $4 or $3. We're going to say $5 per shirt. So I'm pulling that money from somewhere, right? I'm going to pull that money from somewhere. Instead of me bringing out, and now I don't really have that big problem because I ended up buying a vehicle that I can use for events, right? But let's say there was a time when it was like, okay, I had to deal with equipment because my pricing is based on equipment. The more equipment I have, the more da da da, the more people that are at the event, it's more people to pay. So a lot of times it's all about negotiation, right? You have to have the gift of gab, or you have to be able to negotiate with the people that you're dealing with. And that's what service businesses are about, because printing is a service business, right? Yeah, you got the base product, but it's about service, right? So you look at the services and you're like, okay, well, I may not be able to do this, but I can do this. So a lot of times when people call you and they say, hey, I'm looking for shirts, I need full color shirts with this or that on it, right? I have to look at it and say, okay, well, I can't do that for $20 a shirt, even though you're getting 100 shirts, because it's got 10 colors in it, and I can't screen print it with 10 colors without getting paid because it's so many screens for me to make. But now we go back to the drawing board and we look and we say, oh, I can do this in DTF and I can come up underneath that 20. But this is how I'm going to do it. Right? So then you negotiate with them and you say, okay, well, we do have another process, da 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 da. You make sure that you get your money. There are times when there are just jobs that you're going to walk away from, right? That you're just going to walk away from. I'm going to go over here to a calculator and I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something here on the screen and see if I can make this make sense for those of you guys who are doing pricing. Let's see here. I actually want the full desktop. Let's see here. Well, we can go into, let's go into this transition. Okay. So these are prices of screen printing, just preliminary prices, right? May not be your price. Everybody has their own pricing, but this is a great example of how um, things work when I talk about printing. Let's talk about this. This is, if you don't have my t-shirt calculator, this is available over on ladyprintboss.com. Let's go into here. So when we're talking about pricing, right? When you sit down and you figure out your pricing, right? You have three things that define your operational costs. As most people teach it, they're like, hey, you need to figure out what your overhead is and how much you're paying for supplies, and then pay yourself, right? And so one, two, three, and that's it. So in business, they tell you, hey, if you walk away in business and you're just making a 10% profit, you're doing good. This is big companies. You make a 10% profit, you're doing good. If you make you're keeping the doors open. If you make a 20% profit, you're doing pretty good. You're okay, right? You're where you're supposed to be. If you do 30%, you're doing great, right? Who wants to make a 30% profit? So I'm going to show you guys something. So let's go in here. Let me kind of zoom in on these numbers for y'all. So let's say we have our rent, our gas, our electric, and all of that stuff, right? And then you go in, you figure out you've got fixed costs. Fixed costs in your business, that's going to be your overhead. Fixed costs are things that you know are not going to change, right? This is things that overhead, it doesn't really fluctuate. You know it's not going to change much. Now, it may be that your rent changes a little bit, right? But you got the average amount. You kind of know this. So we have our monthly overhead for our fixed costs, right? Rent, electric, gas, shop phone, internet. Fixed costs could even be in well, no, we're not going to say variable. We're not going to say advertising. If you spend a certain amount every month, then it could go in that category. So you have fixed, variable, and semi-variable, right? So your variable costs in business, that's going to cover things like your materials that you use. If you do sublimation, your inks, your paper, screen printing, it's going to be the inks, the screens, the supplies to clean the screens, all of this type of stuff right here, right? If you're doing embroidery, we got your threads, we've got all the things that you need, even to your office paper that you're using, your calendars, anything that you're using in your business, right? These are going to be variable costs, okay? Even your equipment, let's say that you buy equipment, you're going to put that equipment that you buy there, and it's not going to be, you're not going to put that in there, it's just going to be an expense. But things that fluctuate like a little bit from month to month, right? So then we have variable, your semi-variable costs. That's going to be the things like your employees, right? And I've got a list over here, something that you guys can read, right? So semi-variable costs is cost of labor, right? Um, I put that in there because most small shops can control the number of employees that you need, or you can use employees during busy seasons and slow seasons. So one day you may have an employee, the next day you may not, right? So anyway, you fill that out and it's going to give you your operational costs, and then you figure out what it's going to cost you to keep your doors open. So you look at your rent and all your overhead and all the things that you have. How much is it going to cost you to keep your doors open? And you go in and you look and you say, okay, this is how the amount of time that I work a week. Do you work four weeks out of the month? Let's say maybe you only work 2 weeks out of the month. How many hours are you open in a typical month, right? How many days are you open? Because you may work four weeks out of the month, and you may only work only 20 days, or you may work 25 days, or you may work every day of the month. Or let's say maybe you only work on the weekends, and you only do like 8 hours a weekend, 2 weekends, and so you do 16 hours, right? Anyways, once you figure all of that out, you're going to get your minimum, you're going to get your daily operational costs, right? So let's say that you come up with $59. This is just an example. These are not my figures. This is just an example, right? So you get your daily operational costs, and now you're trying to figure out your printing. I'm going to make this make sense for you in any type of business that you are dealing in, that you're working in, whether you're doing sublimation, you're doing screen printing or anything, because a lot of times people just think that, oh, I can just teach you screen printing, right? But I want to show you guys a way to figure out things to where it makes sense for you. So let's say that in your business, it costs you $59 a day to keep your doors open. It may be cheaper for some of you guys, right? So we want to go in here. We want to mark up our minimum amount of profit that we want to make. Keisha, I want you to really pay attention to this, okay? Your minimum amount of profit that you want to make an hour, okay? So your base printing profit, if you do a 150% markup, which is just a 50% markup, right? You're going to make $88.65 an hour. Divide this by 60 prints, right? Divide that by 60 prints, right? So according to this, at 150%, the minimum that you can sell, that you can screen print a job for is $1.48. That's in order for you just to make that 50%. Now, remember I told you guys that industry standard says, oh, if you make 30%, you're doing good at the end of the day. Let's go into this, okay? Now, when it comes to screen printing, right? This is where you make money, and this is why we price on a buy more, save more type of, on a buy more, save more scale, right, in business. A lot of times people don't understand, how is it that you can screen print for so cheap, right? I'm going to make it make sense to you guys. Now, we have this at $1.48, right? Screens at, and wait a minute, I'm in the wrong calculator, but anyways, screens at, let's say screens are $20. I'm doing some updates, y'all. So anyways, let's go in here. You see this $1.48? Where are you going to get that $1.48 at? You have to figure out what's this $1.48. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to read something to y'all. When your press spins, see if this makes sense to you. When your press spins, you're making money. Now, for this may be when your printer is printing, or when your heat press is on, you're making money. When you're working your equipment, you are making money, right? This is how we make the most profit on our jobs, okay? So the key to success is going to be determining the right printing cost for your services. And this is where a lot of people fail, and there are a lot of people are getting out of business, okay? Because they are not, they don't know how to determine the print, their cost of printing, and you're underbidding or overbidding, right? So what we have to do is crunch numbers, right? But before you start, right? So I want you guys to think about what you should charge for your services, right? So you must know your pricing. Okay, so I'm going to say this, and this is going to blow your mind. Your printing cost should reflect at least a 600% markup. At least 600% markup at the minimum number of shirts that you will print, okay, in your job, in your shop for a one color job, $1.14, right, to make $200 an hour on your press. You need to make, no, that's not supposed to be there, y'all. So you need to make $3. You need to make $3.34 per minute on your press to be able to make $200 an hour if you're screen printing. You figure out how much money I need to make an hour printing. How much money do you want to make an hour? Put in the comments how much money you want to make an hour. You want to make $500 an hour? You want to make $200 an hour? You want to make $100 an hour? When I say $200 an hour, I mean minimum. So this $3.34 is for you to strive for if you want to make $200 an hour. Okay? Now, what you have to do is figure out how many pieces can I make of a product do I need to make to where I can charge that $3.34 an hour. I know it ain't making sense to some of y'all, but it's fencing too. Okay? Fencing too. Okay? So here's our least amount that we want to make. This is the least amount that we want to make printing to be able to make a 50% profit on printing. Now, I'm not talking about, when I say printing, y'all, we're not talking about the garment. We're not talking about the product. We're talking about the service on your service, right? At least 50%. That's your minimum that you want to make. When I talk about fluctuating in prices and I say, hey, you got to know prices, because sometimes you can deviate, right? But your markup has to be to where you can do that. You can't do that at 150%. So if I charge everybody to walk through the door $1.48, I'm not really making no money. I don't have any room to do any misprints. I ain't got no room to fuck up no shirts. I ain't got no room for the equipment to fail. I don't have no room to do any type of advertising. I don't have any room to pay anybody. Hell, I can't even buy a business card at that, right? Because I have no room to do nothing. So you got to leave yourself some room. So when we talk about screen printing and we talk about, or any type of printing, we talk about quantity based, right? I take this number and I times it. This is how your calculator works. You take that number and you times it, right? Let's go over here. Okay. You're going to take that number and you times it. So I'm going to times that by 200%, right? Which is really taking that 50% markup to just 100%, to where I'm just doubling my money is all it's doing. But where am I doubling my money at? I'm doubling my money when you get to 500 pieces. When you get to 500 pieces and you're buying something from me, I can sell it to you at $2.90 a cent. $2.96, right? Per print. Because I'm selling you so much, and I'm going to make that fast money. Me and my business, I've always been about fast money. I'm from the streets. When the streets hit, baby, we hit it fast. Boom, boom, boom. We need it fast. We need it in lump sums, right? So you see that $2.96, right? And you say, okay, well, $2.96. That's almost $1,500 when you add, so $1,480 when you add in the screen fee, that's $1,500, right? So when I look at that $1,500, I'm like, okay, so at $1,500, right? You think about how long does it take you to print these 500 shirts to make that $1,500? We make money by the hour, right? So how long does it take you to print that 500 shirts? If it takes you 5 hours, or if it takes you 5 hours, let's put in 1,500 and divide 1,500 by 5 hours. If it takes you 500, guess what, y'all? You've made $300 an hour for the service. For the service. Remember when I said to make $2.20 an hour? I've got y'all already up right here in this calculator because I've already doubled you, right? We're not starting out making $200 an hour. We're actually making $300 an hour at 500 pieces. Now, where you end up making money at is you figure out where your bread and butter jobs. I want y'all to tell me, when you look at your orders or you look at what you're going for, right? Who's your customer? This is where it comes into play. Who's your customer? If your average customer are the onesies and the twosies, they only buy one shirt, 1 to 5 shirts, right? And the printing cost, just printing, not the cost of the shirt, you're at $22 a shirt. Now, on for those of you guys who are doing, let's say maybe you do 22. So on here we're 20 at $22 a shirt, right? Plus with screen printing, we're going to charge an extra $20. So basically screen printing one shirt is going to run a person about $48, $49, somewhere around there, close to $50 with me. But let's say that you're not screen printing at all, you're doing heat transfer, you're doing DTF prints, and you're paying, let's say that you're paying $4 for the transfer, right? And then you're paying, so you're paying the $4 for the transfer, then you mark up the transfer, right? You're paying $2 or $3 for the shirt, so you got $7 in on your t-shirt, right? Let's say you got $7 in on your t-shirt. You look at, what am I selling that t-shirt for, right? Now you can go in and you say, okay, well, in that situation, now maybe you're doing it 3 times because you're doing just single markups, right? You're not doing screen print. So you're paying more because you're paying more for the DTF transfer than what I'm paying for inks. Let that make sense. Hope that makes sense, right? So when you look at screen printing, you're looking at how much profit you're making. And this is why I still push printing on people, because you're looking at how much profit you are making in bulk. Now, my average customer is going to be somewhere around this 50 to this price right here. This is where my average customer is, right? In here. So imagine if I'm at $5. Hey girl, I'm on live. Yeah, I'll call you back in a second. So imagine if I'm at $5.92, right? I'm really killing it. I'm really killing it. Because now I go in and I say, okay, let's do the math. We say, okay, if we just go by this math up here at 60 shirts an hour, right? How many can you print an hour? You think about it on your heat press, on whatever it is that you're doing. I'm going to have to do a dedicated heat press video for y'all, right? Let's say on your heat press, you bought the transfers and boom, boom, boom. And how many you can print an hour, right? It's where equipment makes sense. It makes sense for you to be able to have transfers that you're able to do. Remember when I was talking about, hey y'all, you got the 2-second transfers, because time is money. This is when I be talking about production, and then people get on here and say, oh, production doesn't make money. Yeah, the fuck it does. Yeah, it does. Time is money. Whenever you're spending time, you reduce the amount of time that it takes you to do something, so that you can do it faster, so that you can do more, and you're going to make more money in your business. Okay, so let's say that 48 shirts, right? We got 48 shirts here. And we're saying, okay, it takes us an hour to print that 48 shirts, right? So we go 592 times 48. $248 plus 20 for the screen. We're now at $304.16 for doing that 48 shirts in that hour just for the service. Now, are you guys going to have fees that are incurred in that? Of course, right? But you're not looking at that fee here of what your inks are costing, because we've already taken care of that over here, right? We've already got your inks and everything covered over here. So now you've made $304, right? In an hour. you go in and you look at what was your base that you needed to make in an hour to cover all of this shit over here. Your inks, your screens, your da 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 this, da da. $59 an hour, right? So now we come back over here and we say, okay, I made 306 cents in an hour of printing, right? Should take you a little less than an hour of printing this. And we're going to go and minus that $59 and what was it? $59.10. Now you made $245. $245, you could say that was my base profit. We ain't even got started on, if y'all with me, let me know that you with me. We haven't even got started on what your markup is on your shirts. This is without marking up anything on shirts. This is what we're talking about, without you doing any type of markup on the shirts. You still have made $245 an hour. Okay? The way that we mark this up is to where when you're doing your pricing, right, you set up how much you want to make an hour. Don't go low. You want to make what a doctor makes? This is how we came up with the number. Okay? Shanti, you not gonna outdo me. You not gonna outdo me. I said to myself, oh, okay, this, you not gonna outdo me, bro. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my prices to where I'm gonna make my money, and we're going to still win. Okay, so let's say that we do. This is where I want y'all to see that production makes money. People say production don't make money. Now the key to do this is that you need to be putting out. Well, we're going to talk about that. Okay, so let's go in here and let's say that somebody came and they wanted 6 shirts, right? And they're paying $11.84. In this video, we are talking about cost of services. They want 6 shirts times that 11, not the cost of shirts. We haven't even got to that. So we got $71 plus we have $20 for the screen. So we got $100, right? We got $100. It ain't gonna take you no time to throw that in on your press and do it. Now for me, this is gonna pretty much be obsolete, right? When it comes to prices on screen printing off in here. I'm gonna try, this is why, because I don't want to fill my press with a lot of these small orders. Your goal in 2025, y'all, is for you to build your press with these bigger orders right here. This is where the money is, right? Even if you went to, y'all remember when I said, okay, 24 pieces, I just dropped my price on 24 pieces, by the way. Okay, so if you notice here, my 24 piece and my 36 piece is the same. I upped it, and then I said, okay, well, we'll drop it, but we'll make the 24 and 36 piece the same. This is where your bread and butter jobs are, and the reason being is because the more or you're getting a lump sum at one time, right? It's great to do the single orders, the small orders, because they're going to take you in. They're going to act as filler orders, but you can find another way to do it. That's how the t-shirt calculator works. Now, from here, it only gets better on profit. It only gets better on profit. Okay? It only gets better on profit because we're in one color. We're talking about a one color job. We're talking about a one color job, right? Remember that hourly rate. Now, the more colors you do, your hourly rate is going to go down. Mel, Keisha, Cynthia, Tampa. I don't think Tampa in here. My screen printers, Renobia. It's the prices, the number you can do an hour is going to go down. Now, if you're skilled, then you can do more than 60 an hour, right? Especially if you're using the right inks and the right products. Now, if you are doing heat press work, because I don't want to leave my heat press people up out of this. Okay, so I want to talk to y'all about those of you guys who are doing heat press work, right? If I got a transfer right here that takes me 15 seconds to press, where we're going to talk about quality and work. When I talk about production, people love to say it ain't the production that makes the money. What's the difference? Ask yourself, what's the difference between a 15-second press time and a 2-second press time, or a 5-second press time, or a 7-second press time? I've not had the luxury to have the transfers that I can do in 2 seconds yet, right? But I'm seeing where the industry is going, and I like it. Okay. Man, what did you press that shirt at the show? Was it 1 second or 2 seconds? I think it was either 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, somewhere off in there. If I can take 15 seconds, reduce the time of me buying this transfer, a 15-second transfer, and buy a transfer that just does half of that time, right? That means I can double the amount of shirts I can do in that time, right? Because right now, at a 15-second transfer, I'm still probably at a shirt a minute. Where my heat press people at? Where my heat press people at? How many shirts can you press in an hour with your equipment? Right? Are you able to put out 60 shirts in an hour with your equipment? Which means, are you able to heat press 1 shirt a minute? I'm finna do HTV Run a favor today. We're gonna sell this press over here. I'm gonna show y'all how to make this make sense. Why I was rooting for them so much, and why we went to the automatic. Now, if I gotta turn it and lock that heat press down, I'm getting tired. I'm getting freaking tired, right? It's going to slow down my production. When I told y'all, I made a statement and then I took it back. Because y'all know I'll say stuff and then I'll take it back. I'll tell you guys, hey, no, I made a mistake. I made a statement when I said, with this heat press, when I said, hey, guys, I would not, if I had the opportunity to buy this or the opportunity to buy this GeoNite, I would buy this heat press over buying my GeoNite again. And I am a GeoNite girl. Reason I said that is because the GeoNite costs 10 times more than what this heat press costs. In my mind, that says, Latana, you can buy 10 of these, right? It might not last, and I'm pretty sure it won't, because I can attest to that. We got a GeoNite that stayed in operation about 17 years, right? Still works as of the last time I put it on the box truck a few years ago. But with this press, I can now turn around and let's say I just bought 2 of these, or I had 3 of these in production, right? 2 is good for 1 person. I load 1, I load another. Now I've taken this press and I've gotten it up to, and I'm not going to say 120 an hour, I'm going to say 100 shirts an hour with a 15-second transfer. Understand me? Now, when they added the pressure to this, I'm all in. Now, when I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, but I can't thread this. There are certain jobs that I can do on this that I cannot do on this that I can do on my GeoNite press, right? But for just an everyday, if you're doing a regular t-shirt print, this will get the job done, right? And it makes good fucking business sense. So think about that when you run out and you buy an expensive heat press. I'm telling y'all because I'm looking at experience. We got both, right? I love the Styles Hottronics. I love the Geonite presses, right? But this is the thing. If this press can produce, and all I got to do is not even push a button and just push it in and it's doing the work for me. Boom, 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 boom. All I'm doing is load, boom, boom, load and taking off. It's a good production press at a cheap entry price. If it lasts you a year and you work the shit out of it and it goes out, who cares? You paid $250 for it, go buy another one. You got to make stuff make sense, right? I ain't got to hear the air. Ain't got to hear all that. So it makes sense. So in your business purchases in 2025, look at stuff that makes sense, right? So for me, I bought a laser. And I thought about when I was buying a laser, do I go and buy X tool or what am I going to buy? Right? And so I just bought a cheap $200 laser because I'm looking at what it is that I'm using the laser for. Oh, this is just to do this. I've got a specific thing that I'm using the laser for. I ain't never used a laser. I know I don't like smell. I do not like smell. So the chances of me using it a lot are slim to none, right? I'll probably get it. I'll probably use it a few times. I ain't even taking it out the box. Use it a few times, check it out. And I know that this is not going to be a staple of my business, but there is something, I have a need for it, right? In the business for something that's unique, that is kind of a special request type of thing that I know that I'm not going to be doing all the time. Okay. And so since I know that I'm not going to be doing it all the time, then I don't need to buy a big laser because screen printing is my main business. I'm going to buy this little small laser. I'm going to test it, see if I like it. Maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't. But all I want to do is some simple things, right? So you think about what it is that you want to do in your business. And so the main thing you do, that's what you buy to put out production. Figure out what it is that you want to specialize in your business. And figure out how you can fucking mass produce it. This is why I've never went into embroidery. Got to give it a little swirl. This is why I never went into embroidery. By the way, y'all. So this is coffee with a little Bailey's in it and a little hen dog up in it. If you know, then you know, right? So you see me as I go in and I hit it a little bit, right? Because it gets low. It's not much. I just put a tip in there, and it's very, very smooth. Love you, Pop. Yeah, me and Pam, we turned up last night. I'm still turning up for that. Surely. I'm going to be feeling good today. Anyway, so, trying to get out and hit the stores. Hold up, wait a minute. I be dressed in 30 minutes. I'm coming to your house, you coming to mine. Hold up. Okay, so I want to comment on what Keisha said. Hold on. Um, Hold on, Keisha. Let me put my phone on charger. Mm-hmm. What time is 10:49:46? 2025, we in them streets, y'all. We in them streets. Hey, Tampa. Okay, so heat press people. Keisha just made a wonderful, wonderful statement. Okay, so I want to make this make sense. So what she said was, if you double that, if you press it twice, it gets real slow, right? So when we talk about this 15-second, right? Boom. When I press, let's say if I'm doing it 15 seconds and then I turn around, I maybe do another 5 seconds, right? And I can still get it out, get it done. Now, this is where it comes to the quality of the transfers, right? So y'all know my guy that I'm using right now is selling cold pills. I like a hot pill transfer. If I have a event to do, because when I'm doing events, that's when I'm doing a lot of heat pressing. Otherwise, I'm only doing like a couple of presses. Now, if I get to the point to where it's back to back to back, right? And I got 100 shirts to do, and I'm constantly busy, and heat press was my business. Screen printing is my business. But if heat press is my business and I'm doing a lot of heat press jobs, I have to go with a product that's going to allow me to maximize my production. But at the same time, I have to weigh the advantages and the disadvantages. This product presses in 2 seconds or 5 seconds. This one does 7 seconds. Let's talk about the Howard transfers. This one does 7 seconds. It's a little bit more in price, but I can get out this many done. I can do double the amount. So am I going to pay that extra 50 cents a transfer, right, to get this done? I'm going to do that. So you have to think about that. Like, is it a transfer that you got to double press? Okay. And if you do the double press, how long is the double press? Now, this is why I said a while ago that I would turn around and buy 2 of these, baby. I would turn around and buy 2 of them and have boom, boom, right? I got this one, I got this one. So I can use this to do my second press, right? So you have to think about that and be smarter when you're working on stuff and you're thinking about, okay, what can I do? So look at your equipment and your equipment that you have right now. Tell me in the comments what y'all got right now. You got screen printing, you got heat press, you have laser engraver, you have embroidery machine. What piece of equipment do you have right now that can put out product? If you guys notice, I only do offer services that I can do fast. Sublimation, I could do fast. Regular heat transfers, I can do fast. DTF, I can produce. That's why I'm there with the DTF now, because it's like, okay, it's gotten to, remember when DTF, I was like, oh, this is slow. Oh, this is slow, y'all. If I can mass produce it, boom. Now I'm going to tell y'all, look at the industry and look at industry trends for 2025. Look at how things are evolving and things are happening. How many of y'all had y'all eye on that video that Styles did the other day? Did y'all see the DTF transfers, baby, with the perforated sheets, the easy tears? Production. Y'all know why they did that? Because we sitting over here cutting it up. A lot of people would not see that and say, that's going to speed up business. Oh, I ain't got to cut this and figure. Y'all and already, you got a machine that's cutting this as it's going, perforating it. So all I got to do is just tear it and move. Production. Keep thinking this. Now, once you have that equipment that you can mass produce whatever it is that you need to produce, Okay. Now you need to focus on getting clients that can fill up that piece of equipment. Whether it is a screen printing press, you got 20 embroidery machines, because you can't do it with one. Just gonna be honest with you, right? The reason I never got into embroidery is because I have never been able to wrap my head around the cost of buying an embroidery machine. I'm gonna spend 15 grand on this machine. How long is it gonna take me to get my money back? I think about production. I bought my first sublimation printer, made my money back in a day. I buy a screen printing press and I'm like, okay, I can make that back in a month. I can go and buy a DTF printer. Even if I buy a DTG printer that costs $30,000, I'm looking at, okay, this DTG printer within 2 months, if I go hard, I can make it, because it can produce it to pay for it, right? I might not do that much volume, but it can produce it to pay for it, because I'm searching for these customers in bulk. With embroidery, the problem is space and having so many pieces of equipment, right? You got to have so many of them damn things to be able to really make some money. Unless you specialize in little left chest logos, boom, 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 something you can knock off real quick, right? But you think about it too, is that, okay, when you're looking at machines and machinery, you have to think about, as you get older, which is something that I always think about, is working smarter and not harder. So an automatic heat press makes sense, right? I love an automatic cap press. Anything that I can automate to where I'm not going to be doing a lot. I don't really like to print anymore. I don't really print anymore. Screen printing, right? I don't really screen print anymore. I see Cynthia put in there that she has DTG with a DTG machine, and I'm gonna tell y'all, DTG ain't off the table, right? With a DTG machine, I can still make money knocking off one-ofs, right? I'll figure out how many shirts can I do in an hour on this DTG. And for me, the problem with DTG, and the problem for most people with DTG, has always been pre-treat. So if I had a DTG machine, I'm not wasting my time. And it's just my personal opinion, right? That for me, I would buy, as I'm looking at DTG printers, because we did a lot of research last year on DTG, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just buy the shirts that are ready to print, because I know Hanes has some great shirts that you go ahead and that are ready to print. I don't want to have to deal with the pre-treatment of DTG. That's why people started doing DTF, right? That's why I started doing DTF, because the treatment process slowing me down. Now, the problem with it is that it would limit you on the types of shirts that you're able to provide your customer with, right? So let's say maybe your customer wants a Bella 3001, and you're like, oh, I gotta pre-treat that. I can't, okay, I'm only buying pre-treated shirts and I can't do that. Are you gonna run some customers away, right? It's just something that, this is the limitations of what I can do. And so with something like that, you would look at, okay, who's the customer? Me, with a DTG, I would do on-demand printing, and I would run the shit out of it. Like, just boom, 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 right? Put up shirts, put them, figure out, okay, where's my markup at on this? What can I say? I would do a whole line, right, of certain things. And so it's different things that you could do. When it comes to embroidery, for me, I'm still kind of like, okay, the time that it takes to embroider one garment, right? You're getting a higher markup on the garment, but the time that it takes for me to come over here and do that, and the time that it takes for me to load it, it just never works for me. Which is why it's like, for me, when I put things in categories in my business, What's the main thing that I do? Production, production, production. I got a sewing machine. What do I use it for? Crafting, little things. Um, Embroidery, what am I going to use that for? Crafting, little things, little side hustle things that I can do. Um, and kind of going back to my father, remembering as he got older and the juice plates, right? You say, Dad, why you don't do the juice plates anymore? He said, the juice plates are high. I get $175 a juice plate, but it's tedious work. By the time I do that, I can be the made 100 of these. I can be the did this, and it's a lot of work. So I kind of look at things like embroidery ain't a lot of work, but just kind of saying, like some things that you do in business is like, oh, that's a lot of work. Like people with simulated process printing, you don't see me going after those types of customers because I'm like, oh, it's a lot of work. Um, do I want to be bothered with it now? No, we got DTG. I'm going to just go ahead and just send that full color design out for DTG and be done with it. I don't want to be bothered with that. So kind of making things make sense, right? Um, Cynthia has a one-stop shop over there, so she can do so many, so many things with okay, so Ruby has an embroidery machine and heat press. Um, it's so many things that you can do, right? Things that you can do, like with things, different things, like on different levels. Even with the white toner, like I look at white toner printing, I'm like, okay, it's a faster way of printing. And then I have to look at, okay, well, what's the quality and what am I going to, because the price of white toner, the prints is so high that you have to look at, okay, so for me, if I'm doing white toner, I'm going to do it on a premium item, right? So I sit up and I look at things and I look at things that, and I see, okay, what are people making money with? What can this, how can I maximize this piece of equipment? Like a white toner printer, I can see on demand printing, right? And in a atmosphere where I constantly have customers coming into. I got to get my ass off of here because we finna hit them streets. And so let's see. So, what are your goals? Tell me in the comments, what are your goals for 2025? Are you going to rewrite the business plan or stick to the plan with some modifications moving forward? Like, here's a challenge for you guys today, right? Here's a challenge for you guys today. For those of you who are in business or doing business, I want you to sit down and I want you to think about, what did you sell in what did you sell in 2024? What product did you make money on? What product or service did you make money on, or did you put out there that you saw money coming in from it? And what method did you use to make that money? Whether it's a side time, a part-time hustle, a full-time hustle, or whatever, right? And what services did you offer that did not make money? And did you, the services that you offered that did not make money, did you advertise those? Because sometimes I don't want to say, hey, drop that service, because sometimes the reason that service did not make any money is because you were focused over here on this. So Keisha has the screen printing and the heat press, right? Every screen printer should have a heat press. Why? Even though we're not using those heat presses like that, like you like, why you got all them heat presses over there, girl, and you study all this screen print, right? Every screen print shop has a heat press. One, if you fuck up a print and you kind of got a bumpy print, you can go and you can smooth it out, right? If you're doing adhesive foil, you can, you can screen print something. And let's say I'm screen printing some golden yellow shirts, and then but I want a bright foil gold, I can take that and put that foil on top of that, heat press it, and go with it. Now I can also do that with a flash, right? So it's a couple of ways. Male honey, you must be gonna drive. You must be gonna drive, right? So um Mel gonna drive today. She gonna drive today. But I'm down. Shake the haters off, y'all. Okay. So every screen print shop should have a heat press, because when we get jobs, you're going to get some jobs that you're going to heat press. You're going to need to heat press. So you have something that you add on to, but one thing is your focus. Like a lot of times people, I'm going to tell y'all, in business, if you don't have clarity, right, it's because you got too much shit that you're trying to push. You can be mediocre at all things. You can be great at one thing and be good at a couple of other things, be mediocre at some things. You have to find what's that one or two things that you're really, really good at, and you get good at it and you push it. If it's embroidery, because even though embroidery doesn't work for me, right, it might work for you. So I don't want to isolate my embroidery people and say, hey, it's no money in embroidery. You do the embroidery, you build that, and then you take that and then you get another machine and you grow, right? For me, if I was doing embroidery, I would specialize in smaller things, right? That's all I want to do on it, is small things with embroidery, because I like fast, right? Um, Streamlining processes and delegating for me. I want to work less and make more. Exactly. Streamlining that process. Yeah, the problem with white toner is if you don't get it, and that's the other thing with white toner, right? So let's say you got a white toner printer, you can't have a heat press that doesn't have good pressure. Then you have that problem. But when you look at it, what I want y'all to do is make stuff make sense. Like you look at stuff and you say, how many, because I'm researching and I'm looking at all businesses, right? When you look, because there are definitely white toner printers out there, right? There are, remember, what was it? Brother came with the little small DTG printer and da 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 da, right? So we know this stuff is out there, but are shops using them, and are they making money, or are they sitting in a corner? Are they used for a niche product, right? Only time I'm pulling my embroidery machine out is because I'm limited to what I can do. So the only thing that I'm going to do with the embroidery machine is maybe somebody wants a logo, pocket logo, some on the sleeve. I'm going to do it, right? Um, but when you look at things, figure out like, okay, what can I do with my existing equipment, and what goals can I take to better it to get to another level? If you are just an equipment hog and you just buying equipment to be buying equipment, and collecting, and it's just collecting dust, it's not doing you any good. Because here's the thing, a lot of times, and so you buy things, and then let's say you buy a cutter. So I have an outline cutter I've had for 25 years. Come January 17th. No, I bought that, and I probably bought that in about March or April, because I bought that on in. that particular cutter, they no longer make the drivers to. So whenever you're buying printers, right? So I used to have Oki printers back in the day. The Oki printers, they no longer, the Oki end up selling out, and it no longer made. Was it Oki? Yeah, it was Oki. Oki ended up. So before they were doing so Oki Data. Okay, let's go back. Oki Data, when it was Oki Data. Um, I used to do laser transfers. That those printers, they stopped supporting the print drivers. So if you have equipment, right, sometimes you have to look at what's the longevity. Am I going to be able to even use this piece of equipment after so much time? So now that you have the equipment, because everybody damn near in this chat has the equipment that they need, you have the equipment that you need to get your business started, right? I was talking to Tampa the other day, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but through our conversation, she said, "Well, damn, I found out something, boss lady." And I'm like, "What?" She said, "I'm looking at, all I need is the big pieces. Now I got all the big pieces. I got the burn unit. I got the screen printing presses. I got all the big stuff. It's the little stuff that I wasn't thinking about that I need to be able for me to be able to make money with this big stuff." Right? So then she had to go back and say, "Okay, I need to curate a list of what I need to get." And so then she had to go and get screens. She had to go and get her emulsions. She had to go and get stuff to be able to make the money, because now I got the equipment, right? And so now it's a process of, okay, let me go ahead and practice on my equipment. That's one thing that I love about Tampa. Let me practice on my equipment, because when she came to Bosscation, when you came to Bosscation, it was something that we were doing, and I can't remember what she said to me, but I said, I said, "Well, you don't really want to learn to screen print. You don't really want to screen print. You just learn to screen print because you just with me." She said, "Who? Boss lady, is you out your mind?" I said, "Oh, she kind of, the hell?" She said, "Look, you thought I came all the way to Texas 2 times to deal with you, and I don't want to screen print? Oh no, that is the goal. I thought Tampa, okay, you over here, you the right hand. You say you the right hand, so you just over here the right hand." She said, "No, boo. No, boo. I come to print, to learn to print so that I can go and get my stuff." And then that's what she did. So I do really do, like, it took me aback. I said, "Well, damn, okay." So now it's going in and perfecting thing, because you already know how to get the money. You already collab, and you already doing stuff, and you know that, okay. So now what you need to do, Tampa, is you need to get the screens burnt, start knocking stuff off. 2025, hey, I'm a plane ticket away. I'm a plane ticket away, right? So we got to work on a plan for you to say, okay, well, this is where I am in the ATL, and this is where I'm gonna come in, and I'm gonna take my business. I'm gonna take the business. I'm gonna get the customers. This is what I'm gonna do, and you get that game plan, because you have the equipment. All of y'all, you have the equipment, right? To say, okay, I got my equipment. Now I just need to take off. I need to come up with the plan to get it going, which leads me to Sin. Cynthia said that 2024 was a total marketing fail. And I'm going to say this, sis. I don't think that it was a marketing fail for you. I think that 20, I want you to look at this as 2024 was a year of learning, because I've seen the growth, right? So even though you started late, right? Because we all got different stuff going on, and you doing your part-time thing. I've seen you in the last 3 months. I think it's been about 3 months. I've seen you in the last 3 months really put out some amazing stuff. So if you stay the course going into 2025 and figure out like what exactly you want to do, because you already have, we've talked about a little bit about the things that you're going to do, and I'm not going to say it here, but you already know who you want your customer to be, right? And now it's a matter of finding, of making those customers find you. Not really you finding those customers, but making yourself accessible for those customers to find you. Because a lot of times we're at the start of business, you're doing your research, you've done it, right? Now it's you're making the products, you're taking pictures of the products, you're getting that stuff together. What's holding you back is website, social media presence. That's what's holding you back. And I seen you put some on YouTube. I seen you put some on Facebook. So you coming. I'm seeing that you coming out the gate, right? And but what I want you to do is keep doing it. Like keep doing it. Because if you get in the habit of posting stuff and doing stuff, it'll take you to another place. If you're in a position to where it's like building, because building websites is hard, y'all. Building websites is hard, right? Maybe you just get a landing page to sell the product until you get to the full website. You set up a landing page for a particular product. You go in, you set up the template, and then now I got a landing page, I got a product page. A lot of websites are just stores, right? And let's say that your I know that nobody wants to go and get another website, but if you can't do it, you just can't do it, right? You can actually, y'all, I'm not even gonna tell you to go get a Shopify store. What I'm gonna tell you is to activate the WooCommerce store, and don't even send people to a home page or anything. Send them straight to the store. Because in WooCommerce, you have the store and store page, and then you have, and I'm gonna show you guys some. So let me just do this real quick while we on here. Because y'all know I love showing y'all stuff. If they think that it really helps. Sometimes when you can't visualize it, it'll just showing that visual will help you. Um, so let's go here. Tampa, this might be good for you too. I've done this, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. It works amazing too. And as a matter of fact, I may even take my own recommendation and do this with LPB website. Let's go over here. Okay. Okay, so let's start a whole new page. Okay, let's start a whole new page. Okay, so let's go in. I'm gonna show y'all something. This is a great way to get sales off the ground. So this is the website, right? So on the website we got a home page and all that's good, right? But within your WordPress store, so when you click here, you'll see this drop down. But if you click it again, let's hit the dashboard, and then, okay, so when you're in the dashboard, you see a site and you see a store, right? Well, y'all can't see that, so I'm gonna make that smaller. Um, in the dashboard right here, you see a site and you see a store. So you have an option of just showing your store or just showing your site. So let's say that you ain't built out all your pages of the site, right? All you need is a store. This is exactly what you get. What you would pay for over on Shopify, you actually already have, right? You actually already have. This is a shop page. You can take on your shop page, put a banner right here, and this is where people are landing right here on your shop page. Okay? Right there on the shop page. And you can easily go in. So this is the shop page, right? This is my store. This is all you need. All the rest is fluff. All the rest, all of this other stuff is fluff, right? It, this is just fluff. That's all this is. It's beautifying and fluffing. But actually, when people go onto your site, what they looking for is to take me to the money. Get them to where they can purchase. Just take them on in there and get them where they can purchase, right? So that's all you guys need is just the store. Just the store. You don't need, and you can easily if you have the WordPress store, you can easily go in and customize, and you can set your home page to your store, right? So you go in, and here is the home page setting, and right here under the home page, you click and you set it to go to wherever you want it to go to, just going to the store. And then you have nothing but products there in your store, right? My site's been around for a while, so I don't need that. I like having all of the different options, right? You can even set your home page. I'm going to take it a little bit further. So Ruby says this looks like that might be what she needs. Haven't even opened up the website. Y'all see it's gonna be open on the second, but people are already starting to order. So right now I have the way I have my store. I have it organized in by category, right? But let's say that I'm gonna go back to the home page. You don't even have to have your whole store come up. Let's say that, so I have shop singles. Any page can be the home page. So this page right here can be my home page right here. This can be my home page. I can easily go right here and edit my category page right here, and not there, because I set that as a category page. Let's go here and go to the store page. So in WooCommerce, when you go to your pages and you have a shop, right? So let's say you got your shop page. You got your shop page. And you want to make your shop page your main page. This is what I would do if I was you, Sin. This is what I would do for now until you build out your shop page. Where is the shop page? Block, shop. Our story. Here's the shop page. So this is my shop page, right? So let's take a quick view. Make sure that that's the right one. So this is the shop page. So, okay. So let's go back over here and let's see where to put a banner at on the shop page. So you can edit it in the block editor, or I can edit it in the classic editor. I don't have the ability to edit it in. So I'm going to edit it over here in my classic editor, because you can edit certain elements on your shop page. So right here on the shop page, I can add media and put a header there on my shop page. I can even go over here. You see where it says disable header, add header, container settings, all of this here stuff you can actually customize. You can customize that sidebar. I have mine set with a sidebar. You don't have to have it set with a sidebar. Even here, just a featured image. Let's go featured image and see if this will, so I can just kind of give you guys, show you guys the look. Um, where are, let's take, why is all of that not in my, what in the hell has happened there? What in the world has happened there? Ads. Let's go here to this gallery. See if I can find something to be a home page banner for a shop. Find something that's kind of already formatted. Oh, come on. I know you got something in here, T. That you gotta have something in here that's already formatted. That's not gonna be, that's gonna be square. Looking for something rectangular. Let's look at this picture. Let's see if we do a preview and see where it puts that picture, because it's a couple of places that you can put it. Okay, so I did not add it there. Okay. Let me hit update and see if it publishes it. This is going to show it on Google, y'all. So you have the shop page, you got a picture there. That's the featured picture. Sometimes depending on whichever what do you call it? Whichever like header, whichever theme that you have, sometimes the theme will automatically put something here, right? It'll automatically put it up there, and it may not be putting it there um, because I have the sidebar on. So if your theme doesn't put it there, you can still go here and add the media. I just have to find out where to. I've got so many pictures right now that I'm missing something here, and I don't know why. Fabric swatches, product images. It should be Slider Revolution. Let's see. Okay, so here's a slide. Let's see if this works. So we got this, and of course we'll need to go in and kind of format it and everything and get the picture right. But let's see if we go in and we preview changes, if it goes up to the top. It ain't going up there. Why? Because the side panel is on. It's the side panel. It's the side panel. So I would have to actually turn off this side panel, which I actually have gone back to the side panel. So it's not going to actually show. Let's see if Let me see if I can disable my side panel from here. I can't. But I'm going to show y'all how. I've got another page that'll show you how it would look. Because I don't want to do too much to my page where so basically something like this, and then you would have your products listed, right? You would have, that's what it would do. It just put it up there. On that header, it would just put that header up there at the top. And I didn't know that you could not add it with the side panel on there. So that's something. Oh, I need to edit that page. Let me go in and go back. Let me go back and edit that page. But that's what something that you could do. See, I have that there. I need to move, add some space there because I've updated the. But that would be something that you guys could do to there we go. Perfect. Let's publish it. And let's do a preview. And this was made, and y'all remember this one was made over there in Canva. But yeah, you could definitely do that. And something like that, even if, you know, something like that is something that you could easily do. And get your website up and going, and then now you really just shopping at the products. And actually, for me, if you notice, I took my shop products and made it actually the shop page. So that's actually my shop page now, right? Because I didn't want to. I'm trying to get people to where they're trying to go. I want them to get there faster this year and go there. Now I added my sidebar because I am doing custom printing, so there's a bunch of things that if somebody's searching for something, I want them to be easy, it to be easy for them to find it. So Ruby, Cynthia, I hope that helped you guys. Wrestling with that now. So Keisha is wrestling with pricing formula hiccups on WooCommerce. Now calculating right on markups. It is something that you have to go in and be able to do a custom mechanism. And like I've said, you know, hey, I'm here. I am doing websites for people. So if it's something that you need, then, you know, hey, reach out to me. You already have an existing site, so it would be kind of going in and kind of updating and kind of getting you the things that you need to get. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I will talk to you later, Tampa, Cynthia, all of y'all. So hopefully that makes sense. And that's something that can be easily done, right? So if you have your website and you just want to incorporate, let's say you got like 5 products you just want to incorporate, that's something that's easily done and it's not very expensive to do. So you can do it yourself or you can call me. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.